What is going on, dreamers? Yo, it has been crazy in terms of just stuff that has been popping off recently. So we got Kanye, we got Trump, we got Nick Fuentes, we got Alex Jones, we got all the controversial figures today, or should I say yesterday, going off, man. So they recently had a dinner and it's been quite a mess. Firstly, Kanye was meant to have a dinner with our friend and compatriot, Mr. Donald Trump, and he brought some guests with him that were frowned upon by friends of Trump, local politicians, and it was seen as sort of a racist gathering of the masses at the White House, and it was actually very, very, very publicized, as you would imagine. So basically what happened was Kanye was going to dinner with Donald Trump and he brought two people with him, Nick Fuentes and I forget how to pronounce his name, Milo Yiannopoulos, something like that. But he basically is like an internet troll that always has just been known for being very, very, very provocative and being like sort of a contrarian. So after this meeting, Mr. Trump was even quoted as saying that Kanye him. Yup, he said Kanye effed me. And I'll throw the article up right now. So essentially, Donald Trump saw this as an attack from Kanye. And it's not actually confirmed if this is something that Donald Trump actually said. So this is something that is coming from one of like his public relations specialists or whatever you want to name them. And he sees this as Kanye bringing in guests that he knows is going to be very, very controversial because Kanye plans on running for president in 2024. Later on, we got an interview from our friend Alex Jones between Kanye and Nick Fuentes about what really happened at the dinner. And this is what they had to say.
So tell us about the meeting and what really happened there.
Nick, you have the minutes on it.
That's right. So it's where to begin. Well, I want to set the record straight, first of all, because there was a big piece in NBC the other day written by Mark Caputo with a lot of lies about the dinner. And I don't know if people were misquoted or if bad quotes were given, but people are being led to believe that this was somehow a setup or an ambush to make the president look bad. That's not true. Ye loves Trump. I love Trump. We came to the dinner to have a discussion with him about the 2024 race. Ye had a proposition for him. And so a lot of it was really put together in the last minute. I didn't even really know until I was at Mar-a-Lago whether or not we would be at the dinner. It was something that Ye and I discussed on the flight there and on the car ride over. So I just want to get that cleared up straight away because I think Ye and I both believe that Trump is a great option. It really just comes down to Trump and Ye for the most part.
But them trying to premeditatedly claim it was some secret meeting and he knew he was meeting with you, that's not true.
No, yeah, and it was surprising because we had this conversation the day before we flew out. We were in LA on that Monday, and I was told it may not even be possible for you to get into Mar-a-Lago. They said because there's so many people that will intercept you. There's a guest list and you have to be on it, and there's a security list and all these things. So I was told that I may not even be able to get through. Well, we pulled up to the club. They checked out Ye, they checked out Karen's ID and information. We drove up, we walked in, we sat down in the lobby. The president came out of the dining room, and that was that.
Listen, I previously said White House. I do apologize. This was at Mar-a-Lago. This is President Trump's huge estate that he has. And so there's the clarification. So it wasn't some sort of ambush. It wasn't some sort of attack on Kanye's part, but it also wasn't some premeditated meeting by Donald Trump to try to meet with secret racist heads of these different media groups. Like, people, I do believe, are trying their best to blow this up into something that it really isn't. And I think if you actually think about how spontaneous Kanye is, if you actually think about how crazy it has been for people like Nick Fuentes, people like Kanye to operate in public spaces, you could imagine that there couldn't have been much discussion of this publicly about them planning this. They'd be flooded by news outlets. They'd be talked about before they even got to go there. And this story that they're currently purporting would be purported before they even got to go. But this meeting gets very, very interesting because it continues on like this.
He invited Ye to dinner, and I don't know if it was Ye or Trump, but one of them said, well, we want to bring Jamar Karen and Nick into the dining room. And so we came in, we sat down. Well, we took some pictures. Ye sort of lit up the whole room. Everybody wanted to get a picture with him. We sat down at the table. And I want to say initially it was a very pleasant dinner. Trump gave kind of the standard black voter pitch. He talked about the HBCUs, the opportunity zones, things like that. And then it turned out that Ye had accidentally sent a text message to a lawyer that both Trump and Ye share, and forwarded him some intel that Karen gave to us about how we were going to handle the Trump meeting and how to read his body language and the kinds of things that maybe we should avoid or things we might want to say. And so before the dinner, Ye accidentally forwarded that to a lawyer who then in the middle of the dinner apparently called Trump to say, hey, Karen Giorno's involved. This is a setup. You guys are being set up right now. It was really just based on a misunderstanding. And after that call, he...
Who's this lawyer?
Do you mind if I say the name?
Yes.
It's Yes, You Mind? Or,
No, I don't.
Okay, it's Nick Gravante. So he was texting me.
I don't mind any names. I think that's the general. Just let him finish the entire story.
So, because we pulled up in the car and Ye said, here, I'll forward you these notes. So he forwarded it to me and I said, hey, I didn't get the text. And we kind of brushed it off, and we found out later he meant to send it to Nicholas Fuentes. He sent it to Nicholas Gravante on accident.
So this is, I mean, from what Nick is saying, this is a classic case of misunderstanding and a classic case of someone just not doing something properly. So what he's basically saying is that Kanye meant to send a text to his lawyer, meant to send a text to Nick. Instead, he sent it to his lawyer. That lawyer then called Trump in the middle of their meeting and was like, yo, they're being coached. They're being told what to say. They're being told what to do. This is a setup. This entire thing sounds like an absolute mess. And it honestly goes to show exactly how messy things get at the top. When you're a public figure, when you're a member of politics, when you're someone who has a lot of eyes on you, you have to be careful about every single thing that you do. It's not just about a text. It's not just about who you're involved with. It's not just about what you say. It's all of those things. It's all. You can't post the wrong thing. You can't look at the wrong people. You can't say the wrong thing to the wrong people. You can't even say the right thing to the right people because you still might get messed up. And it's just so messy up there. But I do believe these guys have gotten themselves into a huge mess. Now, moving on to what then happened with Kanye discussing the whole, I don't even want to say it, the whole Jewish people debate. Kanye was quoted saying that he loves Hitler's work. I don't know why he would say this. I don't know why he thought that saying that was a good idea, but obviously with it being Ye, we know that he doesn't care. And he doesn't care. And this was said during him and Alex Jones's meeting. This podcast that we were just watching just now is actually about 3 hours long. So we're going to jump right into the part where Ye discusses this controversial topic. Let's get to it.
Well, look at Australia.
Yeah.
They've done some of the genetic typing of the Aborigines there, and they're basically Africans.
There you go. You know, so all of these truths, and then the current truths about banking, about the government. My favorite thing that I got to say with Tim Pool was Rahm Emanuel was right there next to Obama. Jared Kushner was right there next to Trump. What are those two people, those two Zionists, I gave it away, have in common? Nick, can you pick that up and expound on that?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, and it's interesting because you've been going on these interviews with Lex Friedman and with Tim Pool and Piers Morgan, and they always say, well, don't talk about a group, talk about the individuals. And I would point out, one, it's hypocritical because in the same interview, Tim Pool said, well, wouldn't Ye be so great for the black vote? So you can say the black vote, but you talk about Jewish businessmen, and somehow that's a problem. You can't talk about groups when it's one but not the other. The other thing is that there is something baked into the cake in Judaism which affects how they're brokering these kinds of contracts with entertainers like Ye. If you look at the Talmud, which is a real Jewish holy book or part of the holy book, there's the written Torah, which is the Hebrew Bible. There's the oral Torah, which was written down as the Mishnah and then interpreted in the Talmud. In the Talmud, it says that Jews have to treat Gentiles differently than they treat other Jews. There's all kinds of examples of this. They say that if you accidentally if a Jew indirectly kills a Gentile, there's nothing even wrong with that. There's nothing morally wrong with that. They say that for a Jew to have sex with a Gentile is comparable to bestiality. They say that the semen of a Gentile is like that of horses. They also say that you can't give a gift to a Gentile. A Jew is not permitted under the Talmud to give a gift to a Gentile. They're not permitted to charge each other interest, but they're encouraged to charge Gentiles interest.
What did they say?
So obviously this gets even worse, but this is YouTube, and apparent to what they're saying, I can't post the full speech of what was said on YouTube. I'd probably get my channel taken down, even though I'm not even that big of a channel. But those things that Nick Fuentes were expounding upon at Kanye's request were basically some of the nuances that they then used to establish the later statement that was said, which was Kanye saying that he likes Hitler, which obviously is going to get a lot of people mad. I mean, we know who Adolf is, we know what he got into, and we know the horrific things that he got down to. What makes this so hard to navigate is that you have to balance all of those atrocities with the truth. These things that Nick are saying aren't directly attacking Jews. In fact, these are the truths of the Talmud. These are the truths of what Jews practice. And not only that, these are the truths of the history of not only Jewish people, but the Egyptians, some African Americans who have, native history with Egyptian and with Jewish culture. There's a lot of things baked into our history that make this conversation very, very difficult to have. And where it gets muddied is, why is it that on this side, you can't talk about this stuff? But if a black person brings up any sort of history when it comes to talking about white people, connects it to slavery, connects it to all these different things, it's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay because they are the oppressed people. They are the ones that were attacked. When it's on the other side, when you have a white male like Nick Fuentes describing all of these different things that don't seem to necessarily align, then all of a sudden he's not allowed to speak. When you have people like Alex Jones, all of a sudden he's not allowed to speak. And Kanye being black, but not saying what they want black people to say about history, is now being silenced as well. It's very, very, very controversial, and I really don't know where you guys stand on it, but please let me know in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, go over to Infowars.com and watch the full interview with Nick Fuentes, Kanye, and Alex Jones. It's a very, very, very long interview, I understand, but it's also very important for us to understand our history and for us to understand exactly what's happening right now. Yes, some of the things they're saying, wrong. Some of the things they're saying, hurtful, but it's free speech, and it's very, very important to delve into the full extent of what they're trying to get at, because without trying to understand, all we're trying to do is argue. But anyway, man, dreamers, out.